doesn't fight worse than he fought when he was taking these fights on short notice.
But here's a man who has a $10,000 opponent, a setup, defeated the named next challenger for the title, who was about to make $1 million or more. Why can't he think, well, for $500,000 as an opponent, why shouldn't I beat a guy out of a $50 million in potential earnings? Riddick Bowe.
Not only did he defeat Ray Mercer to knock him out of the scheduled title shot, for which Mercer had been guaranteed $1 million, but he soundly beat him in a 10-round unanimous decision in which some of us at ringside thought that Jesse won every single round. There are the numbers. He won his first 13 fights. The 13th victory was against Buster Douglas. Since that time, he has lost 9 of the next 15, including 4 of the last 6.
What they say about a fighter like this is he's been in with everybody. He's fought every tough guy. He's been a sparring partner with champions. He's never gone out easily. He's always been in there, and he's always given you rounds.
He's going to have the motivation in this fight. And, you know, everybody's writing him off. Well, Bowe is going to win the fight easily, etc. But I know the people in Riddick Bowe's corner, they're worrying about the fact that Riddick Bowe can get cut in the fight. He could hurt his hand, whatever else.
They bring the 2 world championship belts that Bowe controls into the ring. Remember, he's the IBF and WBA world champion. He relinquished the WBC championship after his victory over Holyfield, and that title was conferred upon Lennox Lewis. So there's the record for Bowe: 33 wins, no losses, 28 KOs. And let's take a look now at the tail of the tape. And you will see that Bowe weighed in at 244 pounds. That's 9 pounds more than he weighed when he won the title from Holyfield. His trainer, Eddie Futch, says that's no problem. He's still growing. Ferguson, 224, 10 pounds less than he weighed when he fought against Mercer, and unquestionably in the best shape of his career. Punch stat numbers, Larry.
The numbers are similar, but the opponents they've been landed against are not similar. And this is Bowe's big tactical advantage, the jab. He throws a big, heavy jab, and he can control the fight with it, as Gil Clancy pointed out.
Rules of the bout, Harold Letterman.
Riddick Bowe and Jesse Ferguson will box tonight using the rules of the World Boxing Association. No standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. You can be saved by the bell in the last round only. Only the referee can stop the fight. And in case of an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 3 rounds have been completed. Before that, it's a technical draw. Jim.
All right, Harold, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Spencer Promotions Incorporated and the D.C. Armory Board in association with Caesar's World. This bout is sanctioned by the Washington, D.C. Boxing Commission, Chairman Jeffrey Gildenhorn, Commissioner Dr. Arnold McKnight, Deputy Commissioner Gilbert Ware, and it is sanctioned by the World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor in attendance Maurice Sleep, the physicians in attendance at ringside, Dr. Edward Mosley, Dr. Willie Blair, and Dr. Donald Schell. The timekeeper is Floyd Lumpkin, counting for the knockdown seconds, Andre Davis. The 3 judges assigned at ringside to score this bout on a 10-point must system will be Sheila Harmon Martin, Patricia Jarman, and Gene Williams. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action working for the 40th time in a world title bout, referee Larry Hazard. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the capital city of the United States of America, Washington, District of Columbia, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in white, After training at the House of Pain Gym in Newark, New Jersey, he comes in at a hard and ready weight of 224 pounds. His hometown, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His professional record, 19 victories against 9 defeats. And his left hook has earned him 13 KOs. He's ranked number 12 in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cinderella Challenger, Jesse Boogeyman Ferguson. And across the ring, his opponent in the red corner. Wearing white trunks with red trim, he weighs in tonight at 244 pounds. He comes into the ring as an adopted son of the D.C. area by way of the main streets of Brooklyn, New York. He's a 1988 Olympic silver medalist with a professional record of 33-0, 28 knockouts. 18 of his KOs came by the second round, and 12 went down in the very first round. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
Get him out of here. All right, let's go. Okay, gentlemen, I've already gone over the rules with you. Let me just remind you. I want a good, clean fight, and you would obey my commands at all times. You have any questions at this time? Okay, shake hands now, take your corners. Good luck to you both.
Ferguson said before this fight, Jim and Gil, that if he goes out and won, he doesn't want the money. I've never heard such motivation to get through a round in my life.
Sounds pretty good to me, too.
Ferguson claims that he bet $10,000 on himself in Las Vegas at odds of 32-1.
Not understanding that if he wins the fight, it's worth millions and millions and millions.
And if he loses the fight in the first round, he won't be able to pay the $10,000.
Jesse Ferguson's trainer tells us that his fighter is conditioned to throw 300 punches around. That, of course, is a physical impossibility. But the trainer claims that they will be trying to throw 100 punches around at Riddick Bowe.
Well, he has to get through that left jab of Riddick Bowe to throw any kind of a punch. And there's Bowe already snapping that left jab out. There it is again and again.
And Ferguson himself admits that he can't stay out there at the end of Bowe's jab. He's going to have to find a way to get inside of it. You go inside, then you face the prospect of the uppercut. And Bowe throws the uppercut there. Ferguson landing a left hook.
And a right hand. Good solid right hand by Jesse Ferguson.
By my calculation, Gil, Jesse doesn't have a lot of punching power.
No, Riddick Bowe has the edge, punching power, hand speed, every which way. But motivation and determination can be big factors in a fight.
Solid left hook for Bowe. Ferguson stepping in, trying to get into close quarters where he thinks he can be effective. For a big man, Bowe is surprisingly good in tight.
Well, that's all that teaching. Eddie Futch has really made a remarkable fighter out of Riddick Bowe.
Uppercut for Ferguson. Bowe answers with an uppercut of his own.
Both fighters throw very, very good right-hand uppercuts on the inside. But Bowe's is better, in my opinion, and stronger.
Gil, as a career sparring partner, Jesse Ferguson has been paid much of his life to take punishment. Is that a unique qualification for stretching this fight out?
Well, we talk about sparring partner mentality, but again, Ferguson assured us yesterday when we interviewed him that he said he's going all out in this fight. He doesn't have any kind of sparring partner mentality. There's that uppercut of Bowe's again, setting up, and a good left hook by Riddick Bowe.
Ferguson stunned by the left hook. Not defending himself as well now. Bowe looking for a chance to pop it again, and the jab is dominant.
And there's the right hand uppercut inside by Riddick Bowe.
Good left hook in close by Riddick Bowe.
Set up by the uppercut again, Jim.
Bowe looks quick, doesn't look sluggish despite the extra 9 pounds above and beyond what he weighed against Holyfield.
Well, you have to remember, Jesse Ferguson is not moving at all, standing right in front of Riddick Bowe. And he got hurt by that left hook, Jesse Ferguson did.
Now Ferguson backs up against the
Right
ropes.
hand and then
Probably not a good place to be. And the left hook lands and Ferguson goes down. Will he make it out of round one? Michael Dokes didn't. Hazard counting. 8 count. Ferguson struggling to get up, and he makes it.
How you feel, Jesse?
Okay, he earned his money. He can keep his money.
the bell saved him. They don't have the stool up in the ring. Here's a poor guy just been knocked down, just about made it up. They don't have a stool up in the ring. Where are the seconds?
There is no stool in that corner, we're told.
They're still trying to get the stool in the ring. What kind of seconds do they have in that corner?
And finally, Jesse Ferguson has a chance to sit down if he'd like.
Move your head, Jesse.
Well, he's trying to get the feeling in his legs back. He's jumping up and down now.
There
The
you
cornerman
see
didn't know that.
that sharp left hook after he had driven him into the ropes with some hard punching. He landed this left to the body and then a left hook. But these are 10-ounce gloves, not the 18-ounce gloves they use in the gym.
And again, Riddick Bowe hit Jesse Ferguson when he was on the canvas. The second punch, that right uppercut, was after Jesse Ferguson was down.
Punch Stat numbers say that Riddick Bowe landed 2/3 of his blows in round one. And this is going to go pretty quickly now. And that's it. A spectacular performance by Riddick Bowe against an outclassed Jesse Ferguson.
He was outclassed, but Riddick Bowe raised himself another level, in my opinion. He really looked spectacular, putting those punches together, very accurate, very hard. He showed me an awful lot in this fight, despite the fact that it didn't go very long.
It just goes to show how hard it is to throw the basketball into the basket from the other end of the court.
And as I had mentioned to you earlier, Larry, this is not basketball.
So Riddick Bowe successfully defends his WBA World Championship. The IBF Championship wasn't even at stake here because that organization chose not to sanction the bout. Let's watch the knockout. Uppercut, left hook, right, and another right. And that was enough. How many guys that big have ever had hands as quick as Riddick Bowe?
It's not only that he has quick hands, but the punches are thrown so correctly. They're on the mark. They're short. You can have fast hands. Roy Jones has fast hands, but he doesn't have the classic punches that a Riddick Bowe has.
I don't think I've ever seen a really big man as well schooled as Bowe is.
That's exactly what I was trying to say, Larry.
All right, guys, we got that worked out. Now let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Larry Hazard reaches the count of 10. That's 17 seconds of round number 2. The winner by knockout victory. His record now 34-0, 29 knockouts. Still the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
So it has been Michael Dokes and Jesse Ferguson in Riddick Bowe's first 2 heavyweight title defenses. And to be honest, the heavyweight champion has barely broken a sweat here on HBO in those 2 appearances. The first round knockout over Dokes was, if you didn't see it, believe it or not, even easier than this. Ferguson at least attempted to put up some opposition, but had nothing in the face of the weapons that Bowe was able to hurl at it.
Oh, Riddick Bowe just showed everything in there. I mean, no matter what Jesse Ferguson did, Riddick Bowe had the answer. Tried to stay inside. Riddick Bowe hit him with the uppercut. Came back with the left hook. Just showed everything. Good snappy jab. I mean, he really dominated from the beginning, as he should have, and he did.
And obviously he's in there against an outclassed opponent, Gil, but do you think that Bowe was motivated to better Lennox Lewis's performance 2 weeks ago against Tony Tucker?
I really don't think so. let's go up to the ring to Larry.
All right, Riddick Bowe is being bedecked here in championship belts.
That's right.
And
this is what it's supposed to be, Larry. And you know, I'm a bad, bad man.
It doesn't look like you worked up much of a sweat, Riddick. Are you sorry about that?
Oh, not at all. I'll tell you, I work hard in the gym. I think people made a big issue about the weight. And listen, when you put your mind to something, like I said, if you feel comfortable, it doesn't matter if you come in at 250. If you're in shape, then that's all that matters.
Now, obviously, you come away from this with a lot of money. What do you get out of a fight against Jesse Ferguson as an athlete?
Hell if I know, you tell me. Well, I get a lot of great exposure.
All right, we want to take a look at some of the action here, and particularly at the first round knockdown. Would you describe it to us when we can get it up? Right now, Ray.
Well, I'm trying to set Jesse up for the hook. Like I said, earlier I will be testing his uppercut, and I will be testing mine. As you can tell, I threw it a lot of times. That left hook was lethal. I've been working with that, in the gym and what have you. Jesse is a rough fella. He's never been knocked out like this before, with the exception of when he fought Mike Tyson. And, I got to take my hat off to Jesse. He stepped up to the challenge. But again, I told him I'm no Ray Mercer. He said he would, he beat the gold medalist, but he would have had no trouble beating the silver medalist. Big difference. If you don't believe me, ask.
This is the end, Riddick. Describe it to us.
2 words. Oops, there it is. You know what I'm saying? Well, 3 words. Again, like I said, I was focused. I was determined to show everybody, I'm the right man with the championships. Lennox Lewis is a bogus champion. And this is how you're supposed to take care of a regular journeyman. If this was Tony Tucker, the same thing would happen to him.
All right, you're putting down Lennox Lewis.
No,
but
I'm not putting down Lennox Lewis. I'm just letting you know that I'm the man.
Okay, are you going to fight Evander Holyfield next? You have a rematch clause. Is that what's going to be next up before you go to Lewis?
Well, like I said, Larry, anybody who wants to step out there and get a taste of the Big Daddy, here I am. Rock and work the iron and deal out with Evander Holyfield. I wouldn't mind at all again. Again, I think a guy like Evander Holyfield would always bring the best out in me. He takes a great punch, and we can expect him to be around for quite some time, but I think in the end I would knock him out.
All right, Rock, just momentarily, what is your timetable to finally go against Lennox Lewis, which is the fight everyone wants to see?
Larry, we made a legitimate offer last week to Lennox Lewis for $12 million. He and his people turned it down, I think, because they don't believe they can win the fight. I want to talk to his people this weekend while they're here in Washington to see what it takes to make the fight. Eddie Futch wants Riddick Bowe to fight Lennox Lewis. Riddick wants it, and I want it. We want to try to make it.
Do you have an obligation to fight Holyfield next?
Evander Holyfield, there was a rematch clause, and there is some issue about that rematch clause, and I will be talking to Duva about it. On the horizon also is Tommy Morrison if he has a win over George Foreman. So the heavyweight picture is healthy, it's exciting, and we're going to be very busy this upcoming week.
Thank you very much, Rock. Let me turn now to Eddie Futch, if I can find him. Eddie, would you come here?
Eddie's right here.
Okay, Eddie. Another heavyweight champion wins another fight for you. Quickly, you assess that kind of a short performance by your fighter. How does it help him against this kind of fighter to progress toward what you think he eventually will be?
Every fight, he learns something. He did things tonight in this fight that he had never done in any fight before.
What?
He used the short uppercut, left hook, and right cross that brought this man down. He has used the uppercut in a counter fashion in previous fights, but this time he led off with it, and he followed with a good hook that we've been trying to get him to use. I consider it a definite advancement. He's learning more technique as he goes along.
All right, your trainer is giving you an 8.
Ain't my wife beautiful?
She looks relieved that it's all over. Just one final question, Riddick. Your trainer is giving you what sounds like an A+. What do you give yourself, and how do you expect to improve in the future?
Well, I give myself about A. Again, I'm still in a learning process, and I know that, I can be better than what you saw tonight. And when I reach that point, I'm going to be something to be reckoned with.
Thank you again, Riddick Bowe, the heavyweight champion. And now back to Gil and Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Larry, and a chance to reflect on the bout with heavyweight contender Tommy Morrison. Tommy, we know that Riddick earned millions of dollars of HBO money more easily than we might have liked him to. Did he earn any more of your respect than he had before?
Well, I think the fight basically went as everyone expected. I think until he faces some tougher opposition, I think there's still going to be question marks out there in people's minds. But he definitely did, he did what he came to do tonight. But I think once he steps in there with some tougher opposition, I think the Lennox Lewis thing, once it clarifies itself, people will really know who the real champion is.
For a big man, you have to be impressed with the quickness of his hands and how technically sound he is, right?
He keeps his punches are very tight and very crisp, and that's a very positive stat, especially in the heavyweight division. A lot of fighters have a tendency to get wide, and he didn't. He did a very good job tonight.
Tommy, thanks again for your time. We remind you can see Tommy against George Foreman on TVKO coming up June 7. Gil Clancy, what did Riddick prove to you?
He proved to me that he's getting better and better and better. You can just see Eddie Futch's stamp on him from the very beginning. He took this raw talent and he's molded it into what it is today. And knowing Eddie Futch, he'll still find something wrong with Riddick's performance and improve on that. And you know, the thing I like best about Riddick Bowe is that short right-hand uppercut inside. If he gets you inside, he sets you up and he hits you with that right-hand uppercut, comes back with the left hook. He's just a very, very tough guy to fight. You fight him outside, he jabs you to death. You take him inside, he beats you to death with that right uppercut. He really is a good, solid heavyweight champion as far as I'm concerned.
If he were matched against Lennox Lewis 2 months from now, is he a clear favorite in your mind?
Well, he always was a favorite. I think he's a lot busier than Lennox Lewis, and he should, in my opinion, probably win a decision. You know, Lennox Lewis is also a big guy, but Lewis is a big, dangerous guy with a looping punch, and it would be an interesting fight.
It's the fight we want to see. Gil, thanks very, very much once again for your time. We turn now to HBO analyst Larry Merchant. Your final comments on yet another easy Riddick Bowe defense. How long is the public going to put up with Jesse Ferguson and Michael Dokes?
Well, there's a body of opinion that says eventually the public will rebel, but history shows us that the public will put up with it for as long as they can, and when both fighters feel they've made as much money as they can until they have to fight each other, that's when they'll fight each other. Right now, there's a lot of incentive for Lennox Lewis not to fight Riddick Bowe. He can make an enormous payday to fight Frank Bruno over in England. Maybe he'll get to fight Morrison. That fight is already being talked about. And so on. So when it's ripe, it will happen. Right now, it's cooking, and it will build up to a crescendo. And when it happens, and I'm not going to hold my breath, but it's the fight that I, like everybody else, wants to see.
And incidentally, with regard to Rock Newman's assertion that he made a legitimate $12 million offer to Lewis, the Lewis people say that the way that offer was structured, they and their man would have cleared no more than $7 million from it. Don King would have been a part of the promotion, which they resist, so they are not likely to even envision the possibility of accepting that offer.
Now, these are just negotiating postures, and if Rock Newman wants to make it happen, he can make it happen.
All right, we'll have a final word on